Before we jump in, a warning that we are an explicit book podcast.
Yes, that means swearing, shitty jokes, and a whole lot of dark humour that some may take offence to.
Please check your trigger warnings on all of the books we cover.
You've been warned.
The episode starts in 3, 2, 1.
A book and a bev. Hello everyone and welcome back to A Book and a Bev. We are your hosts, the original four. We've got Bryony, Ellie, Claire, Georgia, the A-team, the dream team.
Oh my god, I promise I'm not going to cry. It's fine.
Well, we've got a very exciting episode for you tonight. We have a weird, crazy, fucked up book episode. That's fucking right. We're going to absolutely traumatize Ellie with some really outrageous books.
Yeah. I am so thrilled to be back for this. Yay.
This is honestly the highlight of my year. Honestly, like, this is what I've been looking forward to.
And I also love Claire literally being like, we're traumatizing Ellie. Say fucking less. I'm there.
Coming.
Yes.
I don't need any other motivation.
In preparation, I did go through your TikTok of some of the weird, crazy, fucked up books, and I did show Lockie milking your sister.
Yes. That's
and
a good
I
one.
Now left him also traumatized.
Yes.
We should do traumatizing the partners.
We should.
Oh, God.
I know what your wedding gift can be, Ellie. We will bound,
Traumatized.
do that for the fucked up books for you and Lockie. We'll make it all pretty, and then you just open it up, and it's like, I'm milking my sister.
Beautiful. I could read those stories to my children at night. Love that.
Well, what are we drinking then, ladies?
I am drinking a lemonade White Claw.
Cute.
I am drinking just a classic G&T. I also have a bottle of wine in case I want to change it up.
Says Claire, who still can't drink rosé.
No, I'm scarred for life.
Is that after the first ever recording?
No, I think that was the Evelyn Hugo one. Or was it?
Yeah.
Or was one at
You were
Akatar?
like, emphysema, bitch.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Good drunk.
Yeah, and I think Hayley is also just as traumatized for the aftermath.
Oh, delightful.
What are you drinking, Els?
I am drinking Canadian Club Soda and Lime.
Well, I think I'm getting sick, so I'm on water. Okay, because there's obviously no general vibes, we're just going to get straight into it.
To start us off, I am going to read you this beautiful piece of poetry called Taken by Canada by Colt Alcove, which is book 2 in the Taken by Stuff series. It is 4 pages long, and it starts with a dedication for my parents.
Yeah, it's an odd choice.
Odd choice. So we're just going to dive right in again. It's 4 pages. Fuck it up. As I crossed the US-Canada border, I felt my dick becoming harder inside my novelty American flag pants.
Is he a clown?
Nope, he's not.
Are they tight pants? Are they baggy pants?
I'm imagining like board shorts.
God, that's worse.
The curves in Canada's well-tended road system seemed to beckon to me as the tall evergreen trees by the roadside waved invitingly. I began to sweat, despite the cool weather, as I imagined changing my money, my dry American currency, soon to be replaced with Canada's sensible yet decadently coloured plastic banknotes.
My dry American currency. Right?
Mhm.
Okay, carry on.
The thick stack of bills ready to be thrust inside my opening welcome wallet.
No, unnecessary thrusting. Completely unnecessary.
Unnecessary thrusting. Unnecessary.
I take issue with a lot of that paragraph. Pretty much all of it. Colt, or whatever the fuck your name is. Go back to the alcove.
The thought overwhelmed the sex parts of my brain and pulled my coarse US vehicle over to the side of the road. Blood was rushing through my veins, as hot and as red as the stripes and maple leaf on the flag of this fair, sexy country.
Sexy.
I got out of the car. The leaves on a nearby maple tree shivered in what seemed to be a mixture of anticipation and air currents.
No, that's called wind. All it was.
Natural currents.
You ain't that special, babe. Stepping toward the tree, I ran my rugged fingers along its trunk, which was as rough and as coarse as the beard of a proud northern lumberjack.
The fuck?
Engorged with understated currency-based lust, I rushed to caress the next maple tree and then the next until I was deep in the Canadian forest. The sensuous forest air massaged my body, flapping at the American flag pants until they blew off and whipped away to catch in the branches of a maple tree.
Oh, okay.
I have a
Couple
lot of
things.
logistical questions.
My first comment, currency-based lust.
It's just circling back to the dry American currency. And if an American man ejaculates, it's dry American currency now.
It's got to be.
There's muchness in my mind.
What a strong wind to just whip those pants off.
Maybe they were like
Wow.
Velcro pants. Maybe he's actually
Stripper
a stripper.
That's what I picture.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Velcro, God.
He sounds like the type to have a pair of American flag stripper pants on.
Yeah, he would.
I don't disagree. A moan escaped my lips. My dick stood up tall and proud like a cold, hardy pine tree towering high in a frigid boreal zone that provides enough natural resources to supply a nation's booming yet environmentally responsible timber industry.
As long as it's environmentally responsible.
I knelt down and dragged my fingers along the soft, spongy soil of the constitutional monarchy. At that moment, it became clear what I was going to do. I was going to tap Canada, tap her until she exuded a fluid that she'd stored as starch during the summer months and was now releasing itself as a sweet xylem sap, which could then be processed into a syrup commonly used on pancakes and waffles.
No. Did he just say that he was going to ejaculate into the soil of Canada so it can then be extracted as maple syrup and used on top of some poor innocent child's pancakes?
Yes, that's exactly what he said. Yes.
I thrust myself forward and quickly buried my dick into Canada's soft, welcoming core. She accepted me like she accepted Branta Canadis geese every summer. I imagined myself as a mountie.
Geese. No. Because she accepted geese. Sorry, why are they geese? Okay, carry on, keep fucking your country.
I imagined myself as a mountie and the nation of Canada as my very steed, my hips undulating with rhythmic, polite thrusts. My mind envisioned my dick as the Ottawan Peace Tower, except there would be no peace in my man loins until all of Canada's syrup had been tapped.
My man loins.
If that doesn't get you hot, I don't know what does.
The thought of that ending to our lovemaking caused spots to swirl and dance in front of my eyes like erotic schools of pickerel in a sexy Lake Winnipeg.
Fairly sure he's just having a seizure.
He's just epileptic on the side of the road. And he's like, cut it up! And they're like, don't touch him.
B.
I felt my loins become Florida, America's penis, as I pushed myself again and again into the yielding soil of Canada's love cave.
America's penis. Oh, look, that kind of makes sense.
It does. It kind of does.
It does.
The movement of my hips sped up to 145 kilometers an hour, which is a really fast speed and even faster than it seems if you're used to thinking about things in miles. Canada shuddered in terrestrial pleasure. I was moaning my way towards my own sticky xylem-covered orgasm when disaster struck! Exclamation point. Two uniformed men burst out from among the maple trees in front of me! Exclamation mark.
Oh, God.
My soulful yet manly eyes widened in shock as I saw that they were guards from the US-Canada border. Both men were holding guns covered in tiny American flags. You're not allowed to fuck Canada, one of the guards yelled. One guard grabbed my manly chiseled arms, tearing them from their grip of my amorous soil lover. Canada moaned in protest as my dick slipped out of her wet, sticky folds. A manly cry escaped my own rugged lips as the border guards wrestled me to the ground and handcuffed me. The handcuffs were printed with tiny bald eagles, a poignantly ironic symbol of freedom for the very instruments that had just broken up our international love.
I have no words.
I really like that he's trying to be like my rugged and my chiseled, like soulful eyes. Like,
Was this written by an 18-year-old?
quite possibly, honestly. I struggled valiantly, eager to return to the embrace of the alluring landmass, my dirt-encrusted hips thrusting in vain as I was flipped rudely onto my back by the ignorant guards. It was at that moment that both myself and the guards noticed that Canada's syrupy love excretions had removed all of the hair from my groin area, leaving nothing but sexy smoothness.
Wait, he just got laser hair removal from putting his dick into
It's
some
like
soil.
those sugar wax things. So on TikTok.
Yes.
So. The head guard stepped back, taken aback by the force of my sex thrusts and the sight of my hairless, sweetened loins. It was the only chance I needed to return to my Canada love.
Oh. It's like a naked mole rat. Naked mole rat had attention that he's just swiveling around in the air.
Yes.
Of course, the guard's like,
with a roar like the mighty cannons adorning the deck of a naval vessel battling on Lake Erie in the War of 1812, I broke the handcuffs holding my wrists.
of course you did.
Quickly, I turned back over and rammed my dick back into the ground, which eagerly accepted my masculine sex length. Syrup gurgled
No, my masculine sex length. Oh, that is now what I am calling penises. Masculine sex lengths.
Yes.
It's worse.
Oh, good.
Syrup gurgled out around my man hockey stick.
Gurgled.
Oh, Jesus.
The border guard's tiny American flags shook as the ground trembled with the force of our lovemaking. Wild with renewed pleasure, Canada yielded everything to me, from her generous artistic subsidies to her ability to provide filming locations for low-budget American movies and
What the fuck?
low-budget American movies and television shows that appear on not very respectable stations like Sci-Fi and the CW.
CW is actually quite good. Have you not watched One Tree Hill?
Vampire Diaries, fuck off! The X-Files were never the same once production moved from British Columbia to LA. Sure, it sucked when Mulder and Scully were meant to be investigating something in the Yucatan jungle, but it was obviously just the Canadian forest with a few potted ferns thrown in. Also, when you were watching the 1999 film 13th Warrior, and it was supposed to be 10th century Scandinavia, but the landscape was clearly covered in Douglas firs, which are only native to Western North America. But Canada was just being herself, and who she was beautiful. Screen anarchisms and all.
My dear.
How was this published?
We're on like the last page now. The thought filled me with moose-like lust, and I rammed mightily into Canada's hot, syrupy core and deposited my man puck deep into her waiting goal.
My man puck.
Now the geese are back. Migrating geese flew overhead in a penis shape. Somewhere, a casting executive approved a new sci-fi original series based entirely around dicks. My groin, Florida, released a thick spray of man poutine into her horseshoe falls as the very ground convulsed with pressure, causing tremors that could be felt as far as Buffalo and caused minor property damage but no fatalities.
Oh, thank God for that.
Why ruin poutine?
Why ruin poutine? I stood up, brushing leaves and pine needles off my crotch. The two border guards stood open-mouthed at my prowess and my hairless yet manly loins. They realised that their law against fucking Canada was based only on sexual jealousy and wept with envy and regret in one another's arms. The tiny American flags on their guns trembled with shame and anguish. Unashamed of my manhood and hairless groin, I stood facing the maple red sunset. A fur-scented Canadian breeze caused my American flag pants to gently float down from their place in the maple branches and settled back politely over my dick. My country had come between us again, but the stickiness that remained around my crotch reminded me of Canada, and also that I should probably go get the wet wipes in my car before I got a rash. The end.
My God.
It's so fucking funny. It's so funny.
It's the whole tangent on Canadian film industry.
The imagery of the geese flying in penis formation as he ejaculates into the ground whilst the soldiers are hugging and crying.
Crying in jealousy.
Yeah, I'm pleased to know that he does have hygiene.
He's got the wet wipes in the car.
He's got the wet wipes. Some of the smart books that we've read previously leave a lot of that to be
Yeah, you're
desired,
not wrong,
so.
actually.
They do.
The shout out to the Canadian timber and film industry really just gets me every time.
Claire Bear, what are your thoughts?
Silence.
She was just done to speak.
I love how there's really in-depth, descriptive words that actually have nothing to do about the situation at hand. Yet somehow you get it, but also you're disturbed.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Like groin, Florida.
Yeah.
Yeah, we all got that. I think masculine sex length is something that I will be taking from that.
So that is taken by Canada.
Oh, that was lovely.
Obviously taken by Canada. Book 2, standalone, that you can read them individually. So book 1 is taken by the lightning bolt, and the cover for it is basically the same as the cover for book 2. In fact, it is, because that's the picture that they copied when they photoshopped book 2's
I'm
cover.
glad to see that they've improved, you know. Oh my fucking god. It's the same font.
It's the same papyrus
It
font.
is.
And there's not even like a black outline.
At least this one, there's no dedication for relatives on this. The book starts with a quote from Wikipedia.
Good. Good.
Solid source.
Solid source.
Yes.
This book starts with the shout out for positive lightning bolts are considerably hotter and longer than negative lightning.
Hang on, repeat. Sorry, I lost
sense.
you already.
Positive lightning bolts are considerably hotter and longer than negative lightning.
Can you explain to me what a positive lightning bolt is?
I cannot.
I'm guessing what the person's about to experience.
Yeah, look, it's positive for them, I guess. So the book starts, I was standing outside in a field in a thunderstorm, humping a metal sculpture of a horse.
Of course you were. Of course you were. There are no questions to be asked.
Say less.
Just
It's a casual Tuesday.
It is.
It was like that giant scary horse sculpture that's outside Denver International Airport, only with bigger junk. I know you're thinking, didn't that horse sculpture fall down and crush the guy who sculpted it? That's why I had fixed this one really carefully to the ground with concrete mixed with metal shavings, because metal makes things stronger.
yeah.
Facts.
Okay.
Logic.
Also from Wikipedia.
I was dry humping the solid metal back of the horse and holding up my iPhone so I could send a picture unsolicited to people on OkCupid when thunder crashed overhead.
Oh my god.
Because, you know,
At least they're self-aware.
yeah. I became even more aroused. I was thinking of the thunder god Thor and how muscled he was whenever he was portrayed in Marvel Comics or the art of the Romantic era. Then I started thinking about how much sexier the thunder god Thor would be if he were a horse. A giant metal horse, like the one I was humping.
Questionable.
This is like bestiality, but
But metal horse. It's like there's people that marry, like, you know, Ferris wheels and things like that.
some bridges.
Yeah. So my superconductive man rod became harder. Hard as iron or the most conductive metal, silver. Although interestingly, copper is used more often in electrical appliances than silver because it is less expensive. And can you imagine how much more trouble it would be if you had to worry about people going through your trash on electrical items pickup day to look for silver wires instead of copper ones? You could make quite a bit of money from doing that.
Facts. Facts. Facts.
It's just fitting straight facts.
I have no words.
I laughed as I thrust my engorged loins against the horse, which, by the way, was made entirely of silver. My engorged man rod strained against the confines of the copper codpiece I was wearing. Apart from that, I was entirely naked, except for a fine coating of copper shavings which glistened in the light rain and caught in my chest hair. This is much better. This is much better than the night that got me kicked out of Denver forever, I moaned. And then all of a sudden, disaster struck. We've got 6 exclamation marks there. Lightning hit the horse! Exclamation mark. Erotic lightning, full stop.
What other lightning is there?
Yeah.
My engorged man meat pushing up against the inside of the codpiece was hit first. Energized with millions of volts of electricity, the lightning's full of manly power rammed itself into my body, causing potential organ damage and cardiac arrest, as well as a searingly hot, burning pleasure that had the strength to power several dozen medium-sized homes for a day if it could be effectively harnessed.
Yeah. Facts. Facts.
Look, my hair stood on end and a powerful burning sensation filled my nose as the sex pleasure thrust me into an out-of-body erotic experience. I thought of Alessandro Giuseppe Antonio Anastasio Volta, the inventor of the battery and the man who had given his name to the volts that were thrusting their way through my body and destroying important blood vessels. I thought of Benjamin Franklin, historically credited as the man who established the link between lightning and electricity. I thought of Franklin and Mr. Volta sponge bathing each other in a wide ornate marble bath filled with a conductive liquid like salt water. Probably not the highly conductive liquid metal gallium though, because that is $1,000 per kilogram and probably they couldn't afford to fill a whole bath with it just for one erotic session. And also the element wasn't discovered until 1875, 50 years after Volta's death. And definitely not mercury. That wouldn't work well at all.
Okay.
I sexually imagined a drop of liquid caught in one of Alessandro Volta's eyebrows dripping slowly down into water with a manly thwack sound. The tension grew as Ben Franklin leaned in softly to kiss the wet, salt-flavoured edge of Volta's fashionable 18th century sideburn. Just some fanfic about Franklin and Volta.
It's like Reese Hand. What's his name? Oh my god, it's been too long.
Hand. You got it right. And then you tried to make the rice. Because remember, we're not fucking rice. Again, if that's taken by stuff 4, we know what's up. Taken by the basmati rice.
It's like Reese kissing Freya's tears away, but not because they're in a bath tub not filled with mercury, and it's Benjamin Franklin and some motherfucking dude no one's heard it before.
I climaxed with such power that my copper codpiece sprung free and was ripped off, disappearing into the dark of the thunderstorm. My man gravy sprayed out violently, and why does this author keep fucking with gravy?
Man gravy.
Gravy.
My man gravy sprayed out violently to meet the hind end of the horse sculpture. No scientist in human history has ever done a test to figure out how conductive to electricity man batter is until now.
Man batter.
I think I'm just going to be turned off food.
The answer, my friends, is pretty damn conductive because another bolt of sexy lightning pounded itself against Sir Silverhorse just as my man seed was released. The lightning travelled across his powerful hindquarters, across the spraying rope of man product, and back into my groin.
No.
Look your ears.
So, for clarity, he ejaculated and it went back inside.
Yeah, it latched onto the mid-air ejaculate stream and travelled it up like a ladder. What was the effect of this lightning thrust, reader? Well, you might have believed multiple orgasms to be the domain of the fair sex, but they can also be experienced by men experiencing sexy myocardial damage during lovemaking to a metal horse. The second climax struck me with more sex force than the first, and I was jolted out of my body again, but this time to the very heights of Mount Olympus, the home of Zeus, the god of thunder. Zeus's powerful muscled horse body towered above me. His very nipples were shaped like lightning bolts.
Oh, that's a bit. Like, no, they weren't.
That's the bit that's kitsch. He sweated conductive ink. His leg hair was made of metal fibres. It was dangerous for him to be around when people were pumping at gas stations.
Good.
That. My head barely reached the level of his silver codpiece. I looked up, jaw dropping in awe at his hairy equine beauty. My spittle gently dripped onto the marble floor as I took in his presence. Mighty Zeus, I said. All capitals as well now. Yes, mortal.
Really?
Can I see your dick?
Wait, who said that?
The mortal is asking Zeus to see his dick.
That's very forward of you.
It's all in capitals as well. Zeus bellowed and ripped off the codpiece, revealing the glory of his masculine lightning rod. I managed to get back in a quick picture with my phone before I was pummeled back to the earth by the sheer power of his man lightning's electrical force. I lay on my back on the ground in a puddle of rain and conductive urine. I was still thrusting my hips at the sky because the very sky had become my eternal lover. I watched as more lightning flashed in the distance. Truly, it was a fickle, promiscuous paramour, already on its way to fondle others with its powerful sex volts. The horse sculpture had melted, but in its lumpy silver realms had formed an erotic tableau of dicks. I started sending out Zeus's picture on OkCupid instead of mine, but I still didn't get many responses. The end.
I honestly don't have any thoughts, any words, nothing. That has
That's all
just
fair.
completely
facts.
numbed my soul.
I'm just trying to imagine being the author and being like, yes, this is a banger.
This will make me a New York Times bestseller.
And yet, you both bought it. So
Technically, I did not. Georgia sent me the
I
screenshot.
bought it and I sent it to Bronny. I said, if I have to suffer through this, you do too, bitch. Here you go. And it was just some random night too. I just started sending them and she was like, what is this? And I'm like, read it. It's literally 4 pages. And she was like, okay. And then she's sending me like, what the fuck? How did you find this? And I could not tell you. I don't know how I found that.
I'm concerned that this has become your algorithm.
Yeah. It's actually my Kindle. Like, it's like the Kindle
your
suggested
suggested
reads. Yeah.
They're like, we know you like inanimate objects. Here's another one. That was my contribution to traumatizing Ellie. Ellie, do you feel sufficiently traumatized?
I do, thank you.
Look, I have a few. Obviously, a lot of them are on my weird, crazy, fucked up playlist, so you've probably, like, heard of them. But there is one that I have actually read last night. Now, this one is called Claimed by a Coffee Mug.
Why?
Yeah. Yes. I have now started following all of these other creators that do weird, crazy, fucked up books. And this one is called @unfortunate.reads. Her name is Cassie. And I saw this pop up and I was like, that's a bit of fucking me. That is. Well, look, I'm going to give you a bit of a brief rundown on this book because it's a little bit longer than 4 pages. So basically, we have our FMC. Her name is Nora, right? Now, she's looking around this thrift shop. It's actually called Nana's Attic. It's great. She finds a mug there. She picks it up and she screams because it screams back at her. It has eyes. It doesn't have a mouth, but it still talks to her. We don't question it. We don't.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
In her mind or like out loud?
That will come. I'll get to that part. But she's like, well, I've got to take it home with me because, you know, it's a talking mug. Like, what, you know, and he's like, don't you fucking leave me here, you little bitch. And our mug's name, turns out, is Emerson. And he was 35 years old, 300 years ago, when he was cursed by a witch and made into a mug.
Oh, so it's a man mug.
Were mugs invented 300 years ago, or was it just cups? Like, or was there handles, like mugs? Or was it a tankard?
It's a whole
That's a good
question.
Also, where was his masculine sex length?
Oh, it's coming.
It's the handle.
It's coming.
Okay.
She gets home, right? And she's like, what I'm going to do, right? She sits up and she's having a conversation with him and she ends up like drifting off to sleep on the couch. And he's obviously sitting on the coffee table and he's just like, you know, being a coffee mug because what can you do? She wakes up, kind of. She's like drifting in and out of sleep and she's like, oh, you know what? I'm actually feeling a little bit frisky, a little bit horny. So she starts like giving herself a little, you know, little finger dinger. Yeah.
In front of the mug.
Yes. And then she wakes up after she's, you know, come and she's like, oh my fucking God. And she gets super embarrassed. Obviously, she's like, oh, you're a fucking mug. And he's like, haha, hi. And she ends up saying this, do you want a coffee? She says. And he says, only if you're going to drink it out of me. Oh, I saw how you sipped that tea. I could imagine filling your mouth.
Wait.
This little coffee mug. And like, fun fact, turns out that she's the only one who can see him, talk to him, and save him because she's like his soulmate.
Of course she is.
But throughout this book also, she's got this friend whose mother was super sick at one point and her mother kind of started having hallucinations and losing her mind. And so when her friend comes up to her and is like, look at my mug, its name is Emerson, talk Emerson. She's like, it's just a coffee mug. What are you talking about? And it gets to the point where she literally brings the coffee mug to lunch with them and the girl's just like, you're fucking nuts. And she steals the mug and puts in the bin. Now, Nora has an absolute fucking fit at this and she's like, oh my fucking God, Emerson, where are you? Finds him in the bin. Cherishes him. She's like, I'm so sorry this has happened to you. How dare Leslie do this to you? And she ends up that night dry humping his mug face. Yeah, so he's like, I want to watch you, and you know what? I'm not going to let you do anything unless I'm here telling you what to do, because he's super dumb, even though he's a tiny little mug. So just picturing something that is the size of my palm that I could smash on the ground telling me, yes, please flick your clit. Yeah, that's great. Yeah, awesome. I'm like,
in that tone as well. Yeah, awesome.
Yeah.
She's using the mug to dry hump. Imagine if she was like, oh, actually, no, I want to be on top. And then she accidentally just crushes the fucking mug.
She's got glass coming out of her coochie.
Like the
Oh my
glass
God,
nuts.
little babies.
What?
Little, like, pieces of mug. Anyway, little tiny mugs.
Impregnated.
Anyway, they can't have sex because he doesn't have, a penis. So she just humps his face. But anyway, her friend obviously is still very worried about her, So she ends up coming to her house and she's like, bitch, give me the fucking mug. And she's like, it's my fucking mug. She's like, it's fine. I'm feeling great. Everything's A-okay. It's just a mug, but it's my fucking mug. And Leslie's like, give me the fucking mug. Give it to me now. And they end up grappling for it, right?
It's like when
fighting.
your dog eats something and you're like, what's in your mouth?
You're like, there's nothing in my mouth, Mum. But yeah, grapple. The mug dramatically slow motion falls towards the ground, and then she screams, Emerson, I love you. And then he, poof, turns into a man.
Oh, it's like every fairy tale ever.
Yeah.
Wow.
And the book
Apart
ends
from the
with,
face hunt.
for now, I would love to play with your real handle.
Oh.
And that's the end of the book. Yes.
It's the fact that she humped a mug. It's just...
Like,
Yeah, she did.
logistically, so did she have a mug and she was just, like, rubbing it on the
That's
front?
exactly
Yeah.
what she was doing. Yeah. And he was telling her, like, how slippery she was, so I can just imagine he was just, like, sliding all over the place. Was he porcelain? Was he, like, what was he?
What were his eyes doing? Does he have eyelids? Is he, like, feeling a little bit like he needs to get, like, a cloth to just clean up?
He probably
and stuff?
does.
He's
I think
like,
he would.
I've got conjunctivitis now, please clean me.
Yeah, he's got pink eye.
Another one that I read recently, Back for Seconds, a Reverse Harem Feast. Now, this one is a Thanksgiving romance, okay?
Please don't tell me she fucks the turkey.
She
Oh,
does
no.
fuck the turkey.
Oh no.
It was the moment
Leave
of
out the
silence.
song.
It's not as bad. She doesn't, like, get the turkey leg and just start, like, going in.
It's
No.
not an actual, like, live turkey bird. That's bestiality.
No. We don't celebrate it, obviously, in Australia, but if we did, I would really appreciate it if it was exactly how this book laid it out to be.
Okay.
She's had a long dinner, right? She's had a long dinner. Everyone's been there. Now she has to tidy up. And there's, like, leftovers all over the table. There's, the roast. There's the roast turkey. There's some green bean casserole. There's some cranberry sauce, shit like that, right? She gets the wishbone from the turkey as she's cleaning up and she goes, all right, if I snap this one off, I wish that I will finally have the money to be able to get those pair of boots that I love. If I snap this off, I wish that the food would magically be able to clean itself up, right? She snaps it and she doesn't get the boots. She's very upset. She's like, oh, for God's sakes, whatever. And she turns back around and all of a sudden there are 4 men standing in her dining room. And those 4 men represent the pieces of food that were left over on the table.
And she's not fucking a bird.
That's exactly right.
Like, just food, like, leftovers.
Yeah, they end up having a great time. So she gets absolutely, like, cherished. She's just having a wonderful time. And there's actually a quote that comes from the turkey man that is, gobble, gobble, he stage whispered against you before driving in again, enthusiastically lapping at your core.
No.
Stage
Did you
whisper.
just say stage whisper?
He's a stage whisper.
This is a theatre kid. Okay, this is a theatre kid that has written this.
And then to finish off, there's one final one that I would like to talk about, which is actually a book that I read with Taylor in one sitting. Now, this one is for the taboo lovers, all right? And when I say
Ellie's
taboo,
hiding
I
behind
say
the pillow.
I say blood related, okay? I'm talking like
No.
mother, daughter, son, dad, fun. Yeah.
Fun?
Yeah. There's lots of questions.
Oh no.
So the premise of the book, there is a mum and a dad, right? And then they've got twin son and daughter.
Why do I feel like that's worse?
It is, yes. It gets continually worse. The son and daughter, they actually share a room. Separate beds,
that's not a
share
good
room.
start.
And they actually overhear the mum and the dad having sex, but they are calling out their names.
No!
So, it's Rain and River. Because of course it is.
Oh, some white people
And
shit.
it is, yeah. And so she's calling out, oh my God, River, I think the guy's name is. And he's saying, oh my God, Rain. And yeah, that's all happening. So they go to bed and they actually sleep in the same bed because they're trying to like block it out. And they're like, oh my God, this is so traumatizing. Why are they doing that? The next day they approach them, right? Turns out that mom and dad were actually once upon a time twins, Rain and River.
Oh, no.
So they've gone, look, the reason why we were saying that was because that's the only time we can be who we truly were, which is brother and sister from way back when. But we had to run away, obviously, because people were afraid we would have tail babies.
Yeah, there's probably a very reasonable fear there.
So that was their excuse, right? And then the daughter starts thinking, okay, well, if you loved your brother, does that mean I love my brother too?
No. Stop the cycle.
She gives him a little, you know, a wristy in bed, right? And they're like, oh my God. And then the brother's like, the only way that this could have happened, with you going this drastically this way, is that my dad, because him and the dad don't get along. They fucking hate each other. Is my dad has said something to you and he has fucking somehow twisted your brain up and made you want to have sex with me. So he's like, you stay here, all right? Stay in bed. So he goes and he's about to open mum and dad's door, and mum and dad are going at it, right? And their dad is ramming
Couldn't
mum,
wait till they were done.
they're calling out the son and daughter's names. And so the son, instead of walking away like any normal person would, he stands and stares. He stands and stares. He does. And he goes to turn away at one point. He does. And the dad goes, where the fuck do you think you're going? It's your turn now.
No.
It's your turn now. So dad goes and sits on the chair in the corner, and then son comes up. And he's like, you want me to put a baby in you, don't you, mum?
No.
And she says, yes, I do. And then they start fucking, right? So obviously, while this is happening, it's been a while. Sister's still in the bed. She's like, where the fuck is that cunt? He's come. What about me? So she walks into the bedroom and she sees mum and brother going at it on the bed, and dad's in the corner. And she's like, Dad, what is going on here? And he's like, come here, darling. And she does come there. And then she does come there. But it's quite the experience for her, because she's like, well, you know what? If brother is fucking mum, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to fuck dad.
No.
So they end up actually... Mum's sitting here.
She's still got one rational choice to make left. I know she's already had incestual relations with her brother, and she's the product of incest, but there's still hope she could leave.
Just fucking wait. It gets more crazy. So mum and daughter, right?
No.
They're both facing outwards on the beds.
No.
Pussy's out, right? Face to face. And dad and daughter, they're fucking out. And she was a virgin, so her first time, dad.
Of course.
Great.
Oh no, I want to cry.
Son is also fucking mum still. Daughter and father are kissing. Mum goes, hold on, honey. Mummy wants a kiss too.
No.
So then they kiss. They're getting fucked, you know? And then it's like, all right, tag team, let's go. They switch. They do a reverse. So that all happens, right? They all come in each other. So there's come on both ends. Everyone's coming. And then the next chapter is actually the epilogue, right? And then the parents go, well, we probably shouldn't lie to the kids, but we're going to have to. We were actually just calling out our kids' names while we were fucking. That wasn't even the story. We're still twins, but that was never our names. Yeah.
Anyone, call the DCP.
Yeah.
Actually, probably it's too late. Just burn the house down.
Just kill them all.
So that was a fun one.
While you're there, end me.
Yeah.
Wow, my body's actually
revolting against it.
Well, do we want to get into some bestiality?
Yeah, fuck it up.
Claire has come to the table with some... Why are we all here? Just for my collective demise.
So mine is a lovely 11-pager from Chuck Tingle. It's called Space Raptor Butt Invasion. To set the mood, there is 2 astronauts on a planet called Zorbus. Due to budget cuts, one of them has to go back to Earth. But due to Earth's rapid decline, they actually have 10 years to find another planet to live on. So our lovely male is Lance Turner, and he goes out to one of his space stations and he sees another astronaut, and he gets a little bit confused because the other guy had left. And then an astronaut comes knocking on his space station, and he answers it, and he takes off his helmet, and it is in fact a space raptor, aka a dinosaur. So they decide, well, it's just us two here, let's spend some time together.
Yeah.
A very natural reaction to seeing a dinosaur in space.
It's just Ellie's quiet, shaken voice.
Our lovely velociraptor, his name is Orion.
Oh.
And I'm going to read you some quotes as we go through too.
Lovely.
But despite being a bloodthirsty dinosaur carnivore, Orion is actually incredibly sweet and has a truly gentle soul. The longer that we spend together, the more I find myself drawn to him, attracted even. Our difference in species surely couldn't classify me as gay, could it?
Yes,
I
it
don't
must
think
not
gay's
be
the
gay,
word.
but can fuck animals / prehistoric creatures.
Oh, bestiality, A-OK. Gay, And so one day they are sitting after playing ping pong and things like that together. They're sitting down and he asks Orion, you ever think about what it would be like to fuck a human?
Yeah, all the time.
And Orion
yeah.
says, yeah. I mean, who hasn't? The thing is, I'm pretty big dinosaur and human women are just too delicate. I'd probably crush one if I tried. And then Lance goes, I mean, it's not gay if it's a dude raptor and a dude human, right?
That's facts. Facts.
And so Orion said, totally not gay. And he said, the raptor would have to be in control though, dominating even. And so with that, they start kissing, which I don't...
How? But then, okay, and now be the dinosaur, Georgia. Now be the dinosaur.
Take it away.
Well, after their little makeout session, Lance decides to take off the dinosaur's pants, where a massive red dino cock is just waiting to be unleashed from its fabric prison.
Red is concerning. Red means stop.
The dog!
Yep. And so Lance goes, pound me like a homo space boy that I am.
We just said he didn't want to be gay. It doesn't make sense.
Protected.
He's just on a fool.
He's like, I don't have to come out of the closet if I'm in space.
So Lance leaned over the couch, facing away from him with my muscular gay butt popped out. He's
Yeah,
really
big
changed
slay.
turned a corner.
He has.
And so Lance goes, oh fuck, you're the best dinosaur butt a guy could ask for. Discipline me. I need it. A strong ancient beast as he rams me, the force of our fucking literally scooting the couch across the space station floor. My muscular frame brutally impaled onto his thickness as I cry out for more. Use that tight ass with your big raptor dick.
Oh, poor Ellie.
And then, you've been a very bad astronaut. Orion tells him his raptor face pressed hard against his as they pumped together in sweaty unison. So you're going to take my Jurassic load up your arsehole and you're going to like it.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
That's aggressive.
Absolutely. Please fill me with your nasty dino load, slamming up my butthole like a jackhammer.
Oh my God. Why does it say butthole? Why does it say butthole? Oh, nasty. Oh.
And that is essentially the end of it.
Oh, big sleigh. Dino sleigh, if you will.
It's a dino sleigh.
Well, this has been fun.
I feel like I've lived a thousand
She's lived.
lives tonight.
She's lived and she's seen.
It was great having both of you back. Again, I'm not crying, I promise.
It's been traumatizing, but it's been fun.
Yeah.
How else would you describe this podcast, honestly?
So next week we'll be having a break, so you'll be getting a bloopers reel from us, but then afterwards the next book we are covering is Wildfire by Hannah Grace, the sequel to Icebreaker, which you guys know that we absolutely frothed over, and I can confirm it's stacked up. It was good. It was so fucking good. But yeah, we will be back in a couple weeks, so we'll see you then. Bye!
Thank you for listening to our podcast. You can find us on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube, if you haven't already, at A Book and a Bev podcast.
Please rate, like, and subscribe. We hear that helps.
We love and appreciate you, and we'll see you next week.